Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video I will be analyzing the process from anabolic to catabolic and from catabolic to anabolic, resulting in what is known as the body's natural process. Not just physiological process, but its physiological and psychological process, based on the anabolic and catabolic properties we are introduced within our environment. Now, let's present it from this particular question. If I am not within myself, I am outside myself. And if I am outside myself, I am not within myself. What am I? Well, then let's begin the journey in understanding the building and deterioration of the world and the building and deterioration of the world. And in order to understand so, you need to understand it in the aspect of the work. When you understand the process at which you stimulate a catabolic response to your body. A catabolic response essentially is when your body is breaking itself down. A catabolic response of the body breaking itself down is as a result of you building the external world, resulting in the internal world, known as your body, breaking itself down. And now you see the reversal. The moment you build your body, an anabolic response, you begin to deteriorate or break down the external world, which then you see the moral compass behind what is known as the divinity of humans, our ability to make decisions based on this process. If I am not building the external world, I am building the internal world. And if I am not building the internal world, I am building the external world. The problem is where you get the material from in order to create the process of this transmutation, which in the essence, anything you intake, you must take from the external world to build within yourself. And anything you take within yourself, you then put back into the external world in different manifestations, such as ideas. And ultimately, ideas create a fundamental change in the external world, which creates a reflective pattern. If I am not within myself, I am outside of myself. And if I am not outside of myself, I am within myself. Based on this reflective pattern, who is looking at who? And in that notion, we then understand the faith known as beginning to awaken to understanding the process at which humans must make decisions, a matter of holiness, if you wish, to put it lightly. Now, in the understanding of this very basis of faith, now you understand why you must learn to control the rate at which you disperse fear and guilt. Because ultimately, if you do not hold it within yourself, the world experiences it. And if the world experiences it, You do not hold it within yourself. Which begs the question, at which point do you as an individual person have the power to influence the rest of the world? Well, that begins the moment you begin making your decisions, which is in the work itself. And so what is the work? The work is, in essence, what life is. It is an experiment. It is a test, which is the test that meant what it took to become the reflection, the image at which the universe is experiencing itself, which is in the fundamental understanding of the Spirit known as the Holy Spirit, that which holds all of reality together based on He who does the work. And now you might see the understanding, if I may place this particular statement behind Israel. Behind Israel, which is real, Israel is real because Israel, its son, it's his son, it's his son, it's him, it's he who returns. And then you see the pattern of the breakdown of consciousness. The more you analyze into a singular portion of your understanding, the more you break down, the more you affect the external world. The more you affect the external world, the more you break down. A anabolic and catabolic response based on your mental world, which in the physiological and psychological processes of the natural process known as a human experience, you then see the awakening of consciousness, which is where you find the reflection known as the self, which is you ultimately, not just me, not just your parents, but every living creature that is a life form. Every bit of the universe is alive. You are trembling at this point. And I can sense it through this video, which in the future I am now predicting you are actively trembling at this particular moment in the video based on the experience I know you will generate within yourself. At which potential power can we see and change and manifest or control the universe? And the moment you begin to do the work in your understanding that in order for you to sustain yourself, you must break down the external universe. In order for the external universe to sustain itself, it must break you down. And in that notion, we see that at the arising of an individual of a Christ-like personality or of a Christ-like state, giving an example from which you may pull from, even in an individual that has been represented throughout all of time. It is not the individual himself that is the Christ-like individual. It is the consciousness that which the individual obeys, that which is the Christ itself. And now you see that it is not God himself, but the throne at which God sits upon that becomes what is known as Christ. He who holds the Son. It's the Son. It's his Son. Israel. He who does the work. And that is ultimately the faith behind the Jewish faith and all faith, whether it be Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, Muslim. The fundamental faith behind all religion is the idea of performing a work in motion, which invites the idea of the story of a job, something that you propel your life with. And in doing the propulsion of your life, you then see where you can generate your ability to come from everything, have everything taken from you, and regain everything 10 times fold the moment you begin to do the work. Which the work is the internal reflective process. And you find yourself doing this external and internal reflecting process by doing things not just with your body, but with your mind. When you do with your body, you do not think in your mind. When you do with your mind, you do not think with your body. And you do not do with your body. And the work, in essence, is the finding balance at which you can create the flight of yourself as the ascension. In the balance of things, you must find ways you can create a work of physical nature and a work of mental nature. And this combining force creates liftoff, where you begin the momentum in the trajectory you want your life to go. Thank you.